What's going on? This is City Wrestling Radio, and this is a very loud and explosive episode of TGI Fight Night, presented by City Wrestling Radio. It's Labor Day, and you know what that means.
What does that mean, Korey?
AEW All Out. We just watched it. Well, we watched it last night. So we're going to talk about it, and that's it, right? You didn't. I don't know. We're talking about All Out.
It was
Great show.
All Out's been the talk of the town. I feel like it has been for these past 24 hours. I just feel like people are just still kind of reeling over that pay-per-view.
Oh yeah. All-timer, you were saying?
Oh yeah, no. It's just more. I woke up. No, I saw that pay-per-view last night, and I woke up still thinking about that pay-per-view. It's a liberating feeling having this sense of positivity towards a wrestling pay-per-view in quite some time, but we'll get there, Korey.
Yeah, four debuts, men kissing men, turns.
Someone was kissing someone out there in that Now arena. I mean, I don't know how you can. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if people just outright just started just doing it because of how good it was. Like, this is near pornographic. Might as well just be pornographic.
Yeah.
That's how good that fucking pay-per-view was.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just kick it right off. Well, you know what? No, let's not just kick it right off. Let's not bury the fucking lead. Bryan Danielson. See, I'm the WWE mark over here. Bryan Danielson debuted. Adam Cole debuted. Ruby Soho debuted. And Minoru Suzuki debuted. All debuted in one night. And it was one of those things that I think when I was watching the show, I was like, okay, Suzuki's here. Cool. I think that's going to be probably like maybe one more debut. Oh, Ruby's here. Oh, okay. That's probably it. But when I
went into this thinking there wouldn't be any more debuts other than Minoru Suzuki and Ruby Soho.
No, I just didn't think that they would debut 4 people in one night. That's
fair.
Yeah. But then the whole Britt Baker Pittsburgh Sunrise spot in her match, I was just like, okay, Adam Cole's showing up, and then Bryan Danielson. I'm just gonna continue to.
Or it could have just been a wink and a nudge. Like you could have. I feel like you could have easily. There was a scrum. Do you want to just talk about the scrum and then the show, or do you want to do the show and the scrum?
The scrum? You mean the buy-in?
No, the press conference.
Media. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about the media scrum. I mean, all I want to say is AEW All Out. Fucking great show. Go watch it. But yeah, the scrum. What happened? It was Tony Khan, Bryan Danielson, Ruby Soho, and Adam Cole. Baby.
Yeah, basically all the long-term debuts. And listen, man, the CM Punk Colt Cabana podcast. This was not these. Particularly Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, where they just came away from that company just completely grateful for their experience. It all just came. They were just very diplomatic. They you could have. I mean, the cynical side in you and all of us could easily say, "Oh, they just don't want to burn their bridge. They'd be leaving money off the table if they were to, just bash WWE all they can. They're not gonna Jon Moxley this whole entire situation because genuinely speaking, they come from they probably actually did come from like a very good, humble, not even humble, like a good like nurturing circle of WWE that they themselves experienced. But then, also with Bryan Danielson, like he went through the ringer in that WWE career, and for him to like still have a tough decision on whether or not to join AEW or WWE. I mean, that was the main difference between Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole. Was that Adam Cole, he was always gonna go. Like he was always friends with he goes way back. He goes way back with everybody on the Elite.
Yeah,
fiance's there or wife. I don't know if they're married yet.
No, I think still fiance.
Yeah. But for Bryan Danielson, he was tossing and turning, and for him to leave like that, and then the main takeaway from the Bryan Danielson scrum was that he went on to say that like. He went on to say like he was talking about being in a marriage and how he wants a little spice in at least one aspect of his life, and he chose that, and in that aspect he chose like AEW, which one of the main the things that he said about Vince McMahon was that that company was very overprotective of him, like
Yeah.
and they were just looking out for his interest, in regards to his health and everything like that. Or you can also look at the subtext of them just not wanting him to go somewhere else and wrestle a style and just do circles around that company in other places.
They just don't want him to be competition. They know exactly what his market value is. They have known that for a long time. The fact that he was pushed multiple times as world champion, like multiple.
And you would like to give WWE the benefit of the doubt of them looking out for his health, but this is WWE and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like, your mileage may vary.
The thing about WWE is I think when something happens on company grounds and you can prove it, you know what I mean? It's they take care of you medically.
Bryan Danielson is a guy. I mean, I'm not here to concern troll, but this man did, had seizures. He had concussion-induced seizures.
Yeah,
and made his wife not tell anybody, or he kept that a secret. Them's the facts.
And also, like I said, he's connected to WWE more than Adam Cole is. Like Adam Cole, the only thing he had going at WWE was like he was good friends with Shawn and Triple H. You know what I mean?
Shawn was the reason why he was a wrestler,
right?
And for him to be under the tutelage of one Michael Hickenbottom, and for Adam Cole to say that he has always wanted to be a WWE wrestler since he's the age of 9, and you still leave? Like, what does that say about that system, bro?
I'm saying, like, he is not as connected to the company as Bryan Danielson is, where Bryan Danielson's father, I guess his stepfather-in-law. I don't know how exactly what they're.
I mean, like, what do you mean?
John Laurinaitis works for WWE. The Bellas, I don't ever see them going to AEW or New Japan or wherever. And if they want to make money, they're going to be making money with WWE.
I mean, Bellas are completely independent. Like, I'm not sure what their status contract is, but then like their main income, like they don't need WWE for that income anymore.
Well, no, I don't agree with that at all. I mean,
what do you mean? Like the Bellas
the WWE is.
I mean, they have their own YouTube account. They have their own like freaking Instagram account. Like that shit still brings in like millions upon millions of dollars for them, and they still got their wine company. They're making money, and like they don't need the WWE brand because.
How long will they keep that going without WWE? Not long. I mean, and Daniel Bryan leaving is what I'm saying. He doesn't want to affect his wife's ability to make money. That's just what I see it as.
I think they're fine. I personally think they're fine.
Well, I mean, for future, like, do you think Daniel Bryan?
Even then, I think the Bellas completely. I do firmly believe that whatever, dude. This debate's actually.
No, get to the bottom of it. He cares about his wife. He's a loving husband. That's all I'm saying.
But the point is,
he's not.
Bryan Danielson
doesn't love his wife.
But the point is, Bryan Danielson, motherfucker just wants to wrestle, and he wants to kick fucking heads in. He was working really blue. The post match promo, like he just said the F bombs. I mean, he knew they were off air, but like he just said, "Let's fucking go!" And brother, I'm there with you, Bryan Danielson.
Well, I mean, maybe you can go see him at AEW Full Gear on November 13th, wherever that's going to be.
Yeah, sure. No, but with the debuts and everything, with Adam Cole, him fitting in with the Elite, it's gonna be really interesting how he's implemented. Like he's a member of the Elite, he's another singles he's potentially just another singles wrestler in the Elite. Like how does that? The dynamics of that entire group. Like, do you need a Gallows and Anderson?
Title?
Like, the TNT title. Like we'll get there, man. Yeah.
If they want to collect all the belts, man, then they could definitely do the TNT title thing, and the Young Bucks get the tag titles back, and we have all the gold. Anyways, also coming out of that was the date of Full Gear being moved from the 6th to the 13th in St. Louis. I believe because rumor was that Tony Khan said he didn't want to compete with UFC.
I mean, it wasn't a rumor. He straight up just said he's friends with Dana White and he didn't want to take money away from Dana White. And it's also the same night as the Canelo Alvarez fight. It's just not a good night for AEW to do it. If a Logan Paul fight can like significantly take away money from one of the AEW pay-per-views, then what the fuck do you think a UFC and a Canelo Alvarez fight and a pretty major UFC fight
Well, you know
gonna
what?
do? Like,
He's ruined my Saturday night the next week because the next week, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Battle in the Valley, San Jose, California. I believe it's going to be on New Japan World. Same night. They're both scheduled for the same night, pretty much the same time.
I think what does that mean for and I don't Moxley ain't coming there.
Moxley's scheduled to be there. I mean,
They could totally pull out. They could totally pull out. Hard subject to change, Korey. I'm sorry. I don't want to concern troll you again, but I mean, any
I will
AEW
pay that troll
talent.
toll to get to Jon Moxley's hole. Anyways, yeah. So we'll see what happens with them going head to head. I mean, will it affect even pay-per-view numbers? I don't see it affecting too much.
I think AEW is going to be fine.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's kick off the show. AEW All Out 2021 kicked off with the buy-in.
Did you watch the buy-in? Oh yeah. Okay.
No, did not watch the buy-in. I mean, I'll be transparent AF. I did not watch I watched some of the buy-in from work when on my phone, but once I got home during the Kijima Moxley match. So
only the finest in City Wrestling Radio.
You know what? People got lives, all right? How am I going to get home? I'm going to sit at work and watch the damn event. And now my phone's playing voices. Anyways, let's kick it off. The faces went over on the heels in the buy-in match. Did you watch it? You watched the full thing?
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. It was Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, and Chuck Taylor, and Jurassic Express versus the Hardy family offices, and it felt like Bryan Alvarez said this in his review. It felt like a party. It was very much a house show energy.
Yeah,
you got your baby faces going over, but you still had the heat with the heels. A bunch of spots that were really cool. I liked. Don't remember them, but I still came away with it with a very positive feeling and a positive energy that you want out of a crowd for the first match in your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This was hot. This was a hot match.
Yeah, so like I said, Return of the Butcher, our faces go over, and good way to start the show. Then we kicked it off with Eddie Kingston versus Miro for the TNT title. The one thing I will say about Eddie Kingston is that he's incredibly loved and cherished by everyone. And I can get so behind him because I can get into I can have that Eddie Kingston physique, I could probably throw a couple potatoes left and right and look like Eddie Kingston,
I mean, that's part of his appeal, where he has that everyman mentality, and you add that with a New York accent, like it's straight up money.
Yeah. So what did you think of this match? Like I said, I didn't get in until the next match.
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
I thought this was easily Miro's best match of his entire AEW career so far. Kingston got a lot of offense in. This is a pay-per-view match, and he, in all of Miro's run, he genuinely had the most. He got the most offense out of onto Miro, and they brought enough. Space. That's a weird way of saying it for a rematch because of the whole shenanigans concerning Bryce Remsburg, of him trying to put there was fuckery with the turnbuckle. They Torianu'd it.
Yeah.
And he tried to put the Bryce Remsburg tried to put the turnbuckle pad back on, but then Kingston did the spinning back fist, I think, and he set up for the pin, but then Bryce Remsburg was fixing it, and the whole entire crowd was just booing the shit out of Remsburg. And then there was a point in the match where there was a point in the match where Kingston was going to use the exposed turnbuckle on Miro, and then Bryce Remsburg stopped him, and then it led to Kingston getting his nuts redeemed, more or less, as according to Miro on Twitter, where he got low blowed, pin, win. This was a fantastic match, and this won't be the last, and I hope it isn't the last. This is all signs are pointing to Arthur Ashe, and Eddie Kingston better win at Arthur Ashe against Miro.
If he doesn't win, I mean, then I don't know. It would be dumb. He needs to win.
All right.
Eddie
Yeah,
Kingston.
no, this is a great match, and it won't be the last. I hope so. I hope it's not the last. Like, these two cutting promos of each other, like, on the build-up to Arthur Ashe Stadium, like, sign me the fuck up.
Well, then, I mean, that just goes back to what we were talking about, like, with Adam Cole, then. Like, what does, then we have Adam Cole, you know?
We'll get there, because I think, because it's pretty clear where Adam Cole is actually going as we go through the pay-per-view.
Then we have Moxley versus Kojima, Satoshi Kijima. This was an incredible New Japan style match, hard hitting. And I'll say this, I think Kojima has another singles run with him. Maybe not in AEW, but Impact, an American style singles run, because he does still look good. Like, I just kept getting John Cena vibes from the guy, like a little older, but can still go in the ring.
Yeah, no, those pecs, he can still bounce those pecs. It looked great. It will always be great. Yeah, he's 50.
50 years old. Yeah. So, like I said, complete hard hitting New Japan style match, complete with brain busters. Eventually, Moxley hit 2 paradigm shifts for the pin and the win. And that wasn't the top story of this match, though, because after
I mean, like, this match in general, I thought it was very much, like you said it before, the Satoshi Kojima's greatest hits. They did the lariat. They, like, Moxley just came off. What did you think of? How did you think Moxley looked?
Moxley looked good. I mean, he's looking more, I think, a little bit more and more. God, what's the word for it? I don't want to say vicious, but kind of a little bit more aggressive.
He kind of worked a little bit of a heel style.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm seeing it more and more in his style overall lately.
And the crowd was into Kijima. Like, this was, and even more so into the next segment. Like, this was an educated crowd. This was a crowd that was very self-aware as a mass, and I think that's really indicative of how AEW has presented itself.
They're not singers, though, that crowd. And we'll get there. After the match, though, well, they're singers for this song because the lights go, well, the lights don't go out, but the Titantron pops up. It says The King, and out comes Minoru Suzuki, and the crowd goes ape duties for him coming out. He comes out in his Suzuki Goon tracksuit, which, hey, AEW, hook us up with that on shopaew.com. He comes out to the ring. They begin to face off. The crowd, like I said, they sing the entire theme song. They face off, exchanging blows. Moxley receives a rear naked choke and a gotch-style pile driver,
which is his way of saying hello, John.
And Suzuki stands tall. And, I mean, we find out later that this match is going to take place this week on Dynamite in Cincinnati.
Fuck yeah, it is.
So, yeah, stay tuned for more.
Like, this has Moxley wanting this written all over it.
So, like, one time, Suzuki, or you think he's going to be here to stay for a little bit?
I mean, he has to be here for October.
For October? You mean for...
Oh, for West Coast Pro Wrestling.
I mean, yeah, right? I mean, he'll be here for a few dates.
He might end up like just being like he might just stay in America for almost like a month and a half.
He's like, I'm moving to the Bay Area. It's fine. I'm gonna get myself a house in Fremont and just drive into Daly City to do wrestling shows.
You think a wrestler in his salary can like do better than that?
Yeah.
No. That's California for you, man.
Yeah, it's fucking expensive out here, man. Our next match of the night, the AEW Women's Championship, Kris Statlander versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel and Jamie Hayter ringside. This was a great match. I just don't think Statlander, though, was a credible challenger going into this match. So it kind of made me
You mean like in the build-up, right?
Yeah, going into the match. I didn't feel like she was credible at all. I didn't feel like she was going to beat Britt Baker. And that's, I think, a problem with AEW right now, is that a lot of the title matches that we have
seem like foregone conclusions.
Yeah. And
I think I kind of don't see that as a problem, more or less just I know Christian's like, okay, I know like Britt Baker's going to lose. I'll have the same argument with the main event, clearly, as I just slipped up Christian. Yeah, I know that Britt Baker is going to win. I just want to see how this match is going to go.
Yeah.
And if I like it, then more power to us, you know? And I think I've been a little bit more accepting of that.
Yeah. Statlander, she's good, but Britt Baker, I mean, I think she's one of my top 10 at very least of 20.
Really?
Yeah, she's up there right now. I mean, she's when her theme song pops up, it it gets me excited, Michael.
But
I want to stand on my feet.
I thought Statlander was super impressive here because of just she held her own.
Yeah,
she held her own. But then like I can't really remember a memorable spot that Statlander did herself besides Orange Cassidy losing it.
yeah, no, so this match, I felt like they were going at a 10, and it was a good match. It was very good, but I felt like could have been an incredible match if they just toned it down to a 9.
What do you mean?
Like, I felt like they were just trying to get spots off left and right and getting as much in as they can, and there were points where it didn't seem as fluid. So it wasn't botchy, but it just didn't seem like as fluid. You know what I'm saying?
You weren't a fan of the pacing of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It could have been better, but it was still very good. So that's just me nitpicking at that point.
I mean, like, listen, the main takeaway from this was OC losing his shit and the Pittsburgh Sunrise.
Oh, and
which
also,
was easily the top. Can easily stand toe to toe. Like, it's easily like a top 3 reaction of that entire night. People lost their fucking mind.
I also did love Rebel. I did enjoy her ringside screaming her freaking head off. You just hear, "Let's go, Britt, let's go." Good point in the match. So yeah, there was a bunch of good spots. The Super Fisherman neckbreaker to Statlander. Baker planting Statlander into the mat with a DDT. There was a good spot though, the deadlift superplex off the top rope when Statlander lifted Britt up, and I don't think it was planned to be a deadlift spot. I think they were actually about to botch that spot, but they saved themselves. Just my opinion.
Close call then.
Baker dodges a 451 splash. The fans are chanting, "This is awesome." A curb stomp to Statlander on the outside, leaving her grounded. That's when the power of friendship really forces Orange Cassidy to scream his fucking head off.
And took off the glasses too.
Yeah, he said, "Get in there."
Yeah,
and
made me really uncomfortable. Not gonna lie.
That's he heard my last episode. He was like, "You know what? I do need a gimmick change. Tony Khan's going to talk to me about this." But no, that's when Britt hit the Pittsburgh Sunrise, which sounds like it'd be a delicious drink. Curb stomp, lockjaw, submission victory for Brittany Baker. So,
DMD.
Hey, yeah, Dr. Brittany Baker, DMD. Hey, you know what? I want to get my teeth. Like, do you think people like search her up just because they're wrestling fans now?
Yeah. No, she gets I remember there was a part where like there was an interview where people would just specifically just try to get booked for Brittany Baker. Hey, listen, more bookings for her, I guess. It's business, right?
Like, whatever. I love her because she also was doing autograph signing a couple weeks ago, and this is before Adam Cole. Well, obviously before Adam Cole made his decision, and she was like, "Yeah, man, answering Adam Cole questions for $100," and then she would just make up random answers and like be like, "Oh, I don't know."
Gotta respect the hustle. Yeah, no, following Britt Baker on Instagram, it's tread lightly because there are some times where her stories is just like taking pictures of literally pulled teeth, and it's just like on cotton like surfaces, and it's just like a bunch of blood, and it's like entire teeth. Like, like you ever seen X-rays of like your teeth and like, oh shit, your teeth are fucking huge. Yeah, no, entire teeth. And like she takes a picture of that, like, god damn, I gotta tread lightly whenever she posts those stories. I mean, yeah, what can I say? She's a dentist.
Yeah, it's
funny. Do you know she's a dentist?
I just watched Little Shop of Horrors last night too, and that reminds me of dentist.
Steve Martin. Steve Martin, yep.
Martin. A young Steve Martin who looks like he's 50 years old.
Yeah, young Steve Martin. He's looked 50 for about 40 years.
Chavo. Next up, Alex Marvez with Andrade, and apparently Chavo canceled Pac's flight. The entire flight.
Yeah,
So
what do they have to gain from that? Like, you lose out a pay-per-view payday.
they were like,
Like, if I'm Andrade, I'd be pissed.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they were just like,
You deny me the opportunity, Chavo.
and
Make you shorter.
yeah, I don't know, man. Andrade's kind of fallen flat for me.
Oh no, I thought Chavo. Oh, you mean Andrade?
Yeah.
'Cause I thought Chavo was
Chavo.
great. I thought Chavo was great.
Yeah, Chavo's always good. I mean, he's great.
Hey,
We gotta see him in a match, man. I want to see
Andrade.
Andrade and Chavo.
My opinions of Andrade was that the Gargano match was a long time ago, and I have yet to see him top it. It was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And for him to not surpass that, like, granted, that's an amazing match, but he has not even reached that level. And it's been 5 years. It's getting clock's ticking. You know, the pressure's on Andrade.
Well, it's been since the Zelina Vega days too. You know, like he had a little bit of a run as the NXT champion, even after the Gargano match, or not as NXT champion, but as US champion on the main roster, and he got pushed for a little bit. But hey, what was, and so we move on. Next up, the AEW World Tag Team Championship match.
Cage match.
Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks steel cage match. This is a fucking incredible match. I don't really have much other word to say about that. So next match, I'm kidding. I don't know how I could possibly take notes on something like this though. Like it was
bloody, it was brutal.
It
was less than 25 minutes. This show so far is going longer than I hope the show would go longer than this match, but it was dramatic.
Lucha, it was 3/4 of the men in this match were bleeding by the end, or
it was surprisingly restrained in Lucha Bros standards, in my opinion. Not to the detriment of the match. I was still hooked in, but I was fully expecting a destroyer off the top.
Nah, once I saw the height of that cage, I was like, that ain't happening, man. That was like someone's gonna die.
Or they could have or Brandon Cutler could have threw like 4 tables. Like, did you see his arm when he tossed that shoe? When he tossed the spiked shoes?
No.
Yeah. Quite a throw, a lot of pressure. Like, I mean, granted, he's Brandon Cutler, and he can be like a stooge and kind of a geek, and like,
I feel like he's a baller.
The audience can like laugh at him if he, misthrows it, but he can always try again. So he has that out. But yeah, this match. What more can I say about it than what everybody else has been saying for the past 24 hours? This match was fucking incredible, and quite possibly, I'm still teetering on thinking this is above the Bucks Hangman Omega match.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going back and forth on that.
This was a fucking, and
this one was way more dramatic. This one was 1,000 times way more dramatic, and that might be the edge.
Well, I think they used the gimmick of the cage and the gimmick shoe very well in this match. In the other match, it was a great wrestling match,
and that's why I'm kind of going back and forth with that, because the Hangman, that was a traditional tag match in the classic sense of like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
those guys really did it.
Yeah,
and I can't fucking watch it anymore because I lost all my Bleacher Report purchases.
That sucks.
Fucking assholes. I received an email like with the customer service saying, "Oh, you need to reset your password." Yeah, okay. I'm gonna set my password, reset my password. Still nothing.
Yeah, Bleacher Report, get on that. We're not gonna let you sponsor us. We're turning down your sponsorships. Yeah, we only take the best here at City Wrestling Radio.
Fight TV, man.
Yeah, hit us up, Fight TV. citywrestlingradio@gmail.com. But no, like I said, coming out of this, we have new tag team champions. It was the exact way it should have ended.
Penta's daughters embracing their bloody father.
Yeah. So me and Jose talked about this during the Triple Mania show. We thought the younger one was Phoenix's daughter, but that's apparently now that's Penta's daughter. Because she went right to her dad in this match. After the match, he has 3 daughters. 2 of them are like 16, and the other one's like 6.
His Tio.
Yeah. His wait, what? His Tio
Penta or Tio Phoenix, depending on which daughter we're talking about.
There we go. Yeah.
One big familia.
And I that is so heartwarming to see, like, Penta and Phoenix
The fact that they have like entire families,
and they like
give this mystique of being
they bring them to the ring.
They have this mystique of like being absolute killers, like cold-blooded killers for Pac, or just in general. But really, they actually have families.
But that's like a thing. Like,
that's so funny. I love it.
That's one thing I noticed about the Triple Mania show is like everybody came out with like not everybody. A lot of people came out with their kids.
Oh yeah,
you know,
when Phantasmo unmasked and you saw his son just crying his balls off, and then just having like utter contempt with everyone masked him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
So let's get into
name escapes me.
Lucha Bros.
That entrance by the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, it was a little random. Okay, so I really liked it.
What do you mean random? It was perfect.
And I spoke to some people about this. First off,
it was
the dancers. The dancers.
Oh, those dancers are amazing.
This is what they were doing.
No, but then okay, those were those dancers, and then
like.
But then the ones in the center that was supposed to be Penta and Phoenix, like those were they were like the Rockettes. It was awesome.
Is you about to play your Genesis over there? Your Genesis controller?
I just need something to hold on to.
I was like, is that a Genesis controller in this here?
No, it's actually not. It's an 8-bit DOE M30.
Okay, it looks like a Genesis, but
if that's the point, that's the idea.
All right, so they were coming out to the ring. They were wearing like traditional. I don't want to say like the exact which ones they were, but headdresses.
It was like Mayan headdresses.
Yes,
with their ancestors before them.
But what their ancestors did not wear were Letterman jackets that say Lucha Bros. Although I do want them. Can I get one in black?
No, you're criticizing this entrance. You're never entitled to never again.
You know what?
And I will make sure of that.
We here at City Wrestling Radio knew one time Phoenix was at a show and had diarrhea. So.
Okay, the fact that you're putting the word out there like that they're never gonna do anything for us ever again. Thanks, Korey. Yeah, Lucha Brothers, blame him, not me.
Yeah. Anyways, they come out to the ring. I mean, it was a great entrance.
It's a great entrance now.
What they were wearing was a little random and disjointed, but there was the jackets that threw me off, not the headdress. I like the headdresses. The jackets threw me off. Because
are they supposed to answer with never mind, keep going.
It was just like two different styles. That's all I'm saying. It was like two different things going on, styles clashing over here. No pun intended. Callis joins the commentary table. Bros start beating down on the Bucks right when the bell rings, and the Bucks try to escape. I don't know why. We talked about this on the last show. There is no escaping in an AEW cage match.
Yeah.
A lot of great spots. The backstabber to Matt by Penta. The rolling twisting cutter to the Bucks by Phoenix. Made in Japan to Matt. The one spot I really enjoyed, though, is when Matt and Penta go for the double Penta drivers on the younger brothers, on both Nick and Phoenix, on the ring apron. It was a really good spot.
Yeah, no, that was it's like poetry, Korey.
That's when eventually, though, Brandon Cutler, like you said, threw the bag in the ring with the gimmicked shoe with thumbtacks on the bottom. They start super kicking the hell. Well, first off, they go for a super kick on Phoenix. Penta, being the gracious, loving older brother that he is, he's got in the way. He says, "No, I'll take it."
Oh no!
It's like another like God, you guys love your family, and that's amazing. Like I wish I could have family values like them. Penta then is thrown directly face first into the shoe. BTE trigger to Penta. Phoenix breaks up the count. Penta comes alive. Phoenix comes alive.
Mummy's alive.
Everyone's alive. That's when they get that's when the older brother Penta driver spots. Avalanche Canadian Destroyer to Matt Jackson by Penta. Penta is just bleeding profusely. Phoenix is bleeding. Nick is bleeding.
It's like to a point where like Penta is just dry heaving too. He's like the way he bleeds. He's like bleeding from the forehead and it's going down his face, and he just does this little.
He plays it up, man. All four men can barely stand. They're doing this spot where they're all exchanging super kicks back and forth, or just all around in a circle. It was kind of cool. I don't know.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, that part. I don't know. That part was a little. I didn't. Penta points up to the top for Phoenix to climb up to the top of the cage. He climbs up, hits a high cross onto the three men, which, hey, man, that's all good. That's all we need. Assisted fisherman driver to Nick Jackson, pin win, and new tag team champions, the Lucha Brothers. So,
Like I said, it was the right call. We both said that the Bucks should lose. That this was an emotional and this brought this pay-per-view to an emotional high. People were just touting that greatest, like we said earlier, it's among the greatest matches, not just tag team, greatest matches in AEW history. Like it's easily a top 3, 100%.
It's gonna be like a lot of people are talking about contention of the year for match of the year.
Yeah. And it's just undeniable at this point, in my opinion, that the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team, like in this era, probably in any era.
Yeah.
It's just undeniable at this point. Every time they have a big match, whether it be a Dynamite, Rampage, Dark Elevation, they don't wrestle in those days, or these pay-per-views, like no matter what, you are going to get at minimum 5 at this point. They're fucking out of this world. They're my favorite tag teams, like probably ever.
Well,
I've always said I'm kind of like Vince McMahon in this sort of way, where I'm not in a conventional big fan of tag teams, because I do believe in the classic singles match wrestler, and so it takes a little bit of convincing for me to really buy into tag matches. But with the Young Bucks, that's just guaranteed money. They have completely revitalized my interest in tag team wrestling, and of course the entire industry. They have turned the entire industry in its head with tag team wrestling since the 90s.
Yeah. No, the thing about the Bucks is that
yeah. Okay, go on. Sorry.
No, it's their character that just it annoys me.
That's the point.
I know.
That is the point.
They've annoyed.
They are so good.
Forever.
They will make sure that you know that they're good.
Yeah.
And they will beat you across your fucking face with every super kick possible, because they are that damn good. And it's and the way they play that up, the way Nick Jackson looks like a goddamn clown every time, the way and what Nick Jackson succeeds, and what Seth Rollins miserably fails at in every step of the way, is that they're just so natural. They're completely natural. They're completely confident in their arrogance, and it's dude. No, Young Bucks, they are arguably AEW's greatest performers.
Yeah, no, they are.
In this history, in its 2-year history, 100%.
Greatest tag team of all time, you think?
Absolutely. In my opinion, they're my number one. They're my number one.
They're not my favorite, but skill-wise, I think they're the greatest tag team of all time.
Then what's your favorite? Then
my favorite too, you have to take in character and things like that. And I think would the Lucha Bros beat them out? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I think favorite is all about what you feel too. Who you like, who is the best is a different story. Nonetheless, this was also Jose's favorite match of the night.
It's
wrestling.
It's
beat report.
Yes, it is bar none, undisputed.
Then we go into the Casino Battle Royal.
Incredible fucking match.
What, the Casino Battle Royal?
This one too. This actually wasn't that bad either.
It wasn't that bad
by far.
The clubs come out though. I think the way they introduce I say this every year. The way they introduce them, they reveal the card. It takes a minute.
Yeah, this they are really AEW's really stingy on how this thing is presented. They have been doing it they were presenting like this since the company's inception, and they have not changed a single thing. It's it could be better, and it is what it is now at this point.
The clubs come out first. That's Hikaru Shida. The Sky Blue, who was just wrestling on Dark. She had one match.
It was good. I saw that match.
Who did she wrestled? Velvet Sky.
Velvet Sky.
Yeah.
Red Velvet. I mean, Red Velvet, not Velvet Sky. That's the team.
Red versus Blue. Emi Sakura, the Bunny, and Abaddon. They all come out first. Blue is eliminated first off by Abaddon
because they had to.
Well, the crowd
fucking hated it. But then
she's from Chicago. She's a Chicago local wrestler.
And I sort of feel like you kind of had no choice, because they I mean, I'm not here to justify this booking. It's just they had spot for Julia Hart. Julia Hart got injured. She was not medically cleared.
Well, injured.
And We don't know.
Well,
She probably
no,
was.
but the story was.
There was a dark dude. No, there was a dark match also. There was also a dark match where Julia Hart also kind of fucked up her leg while trying to kick. I forget. I saw the spot though.
I'm
but
pretty sure I heard. Well, I heard that she was at the what do you call it? Sky Blue was added to the match, and Tony.
That was a complete audible because of how over she was.
Well, yeah, but then he realized he had too many people in the match, and someone had to be pulled from the show.
Oh wait, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, she had to be pulled.
Yeah, no. Tony did. I mean, didn't Dave said that, right?
Yeah. Little Uncle Dave. So Blue is eliminated by Abaddon first. Bunny then eliminates Abaddon, which, first off, Abaddon's 80s style teased hair. I love the 80s zombie look. It's something new, and I enjoy it. Next come out the Diamonds. Anna Jay, Kiara Hogan. Is it Kiara Hogan or Kira Hogan?
It's Kiara.
Kiara Hogan or Kira Hogan. Kylan King, Diamante, and Nyla Rose. Emi Sakura is eliminated by Shida. Hogan.
Stomp, clap.
Hogan eliminated by Rose, which Kiara Hogan is. She's not Kiara Hogan. Well, it's like she was Kiera Hogan on Impact for the longest time. And now she's Kiera Hogan.
I mean, this is an AEW show, and just pronounce how they want to pronounce, I guess. I don't know.
Doing my best.
Yeah,
Kiera Hogan is eliminated by Nyla Rose, like I said, but she's not getting anything in AEW, and I wonder what's up with that because she was pretty over in Impact, and people like her. So, Kylan King eliminated by Rose. Shida eliminated by Nyla Rose.
Yeah, so it was that prompted pretty quite a reaction from the news of her elimination, and it put her in a weird spot, to be honest. Hikaru Shida, I had her pegged as like a Final Four, but
yeah,
what can you say?
Nyla and Diamante form an alliance for about 20 seconds, and Hearts come out next. Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, Riho, Jamie Hayter, and Big Swole. Riho got a huge pop.
Yeah, it's actually quite unfortunate how much of a big pop she got.
Yeah, because Riho was just then eliminated by Jamie Hayter.
So it looked like a botch. It actually looked like a botch because she went through the middle ropes.
Yeah.
And then you can clearly see Jamie Hayter just say no to the referee that considered her eliminated.
Yeah.
Maybe it's women's rules where they've done this before where they count as middle rope as an elimination because
it's weird.
Yeah, no, Riho got eliminated through I honestly thought that was a botch, but I haven't heard anything from them. I mean, she was never going to win anyway, so
yeah.
It's not really worth splitting hairs over. But I do think your Japanese women talent, not exactly the best night for them. There was you got that you would think that right out of the gate of AEW, this was going to be like the main hook. Or their women's division was look at the women's division. Look at that tournament was awesome on the Japan side, and then COVID. I had COVID, but then you also have, but then they're also living. But then you got Riho and Hikaru Shida living there.
How is COVID though? I get how it played a factor into what happened before, but how does that play a factor now?
I mean, there's a reason why Maki Ito is not around.
That's true. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, they probably want to go back home and they don't want to. It's unfortunate, man. Coronavirus is unfortunate. You heard it here first.
Hot takes from Korey.
That'll be it. We'll put that clip on the Instagram. Diamante eliminated by Big Swole. Swole then eliminated by Jamie Hayter. That's when the Spades come out. David Spade, Kate Spade. No. Ty Conti, Red Velvet, Layla Hirsch, Jade Cargill, and Rebel.
Hey Conti, my girl, also got a big reaction.
So Rebel is eliminated quickly by Red Velvet. Bunny eliminated by Anna Jay. Anna Jay, my pick to win this match, was then eliminated by the Bunny, which I guess, see you later, Anna Jay. Layla Hirsch eliminated by Jade Cargill, which I thought was fair because it's Jade Cargill. And yeah. Did you know she had a degree in child psychology?
Yeah, she says that a million times on her Twitter account.
Oh, I didn't follow.
Good for her, but we get it.
That's when the Joker comes out. Ruby Soho.
Yep. She comes out to Ruby Soho by Rancid.
They called it on Alt 105 2 hours before.
It was she was everybody expected it. Hey, guess what? Sometimes the predictable choice, the one that fans expect, is the best, is the right call. Yeah. And for her to enter, she again. And so Ruby Soho, talk about somebody who just had the fucking time of her life throughout this entire weekend or that night. Well, media scrum, this match.
Yeah.
This was a woman who just comes off as somebody unbelievably grateful of the position that she's in. And
didn't she keep talking about the amount
it was infectious.
She's talking about the amount of freedom she has here. Even going into it this far, having one match.
And also the day of All Out was the first time she ever actually met Tony Khan. Like the amount of trust that Tony Khan has with Ruby Soho. Like we should probably just move on with the match and then talk.
Okay. So then Hayter eliminated by Cargill, Velvet Sky eliminated by Cargill, or Red Velvet eliminated by Cargill. Cargill then eliminated by Nyla Rose. So that was.
I was pretty disappointed on how. I mean, like you could say this could lead to a Nyla Rose and Cargill program, but I didn't think Jade Cargill. I think she had too few spots in this battle royale. Like she eliminated Layla Hirsch by tossing her ass, but like
Layla,
that was kind of all.
Hayter, Red Velvet. She eliminated the three of them. So
that kind of just went under my radar though.
Ford then was eliminated by Ty.
Maybe that's on me.
Yeah, no. I just think I think Nyla Rose is she's not taken as serious as she was when AEW first started.
I mean, because
she's a little bit more of a comedy wrestler now. Well, not in the sense of her matches, but like, backstage, she's doing more of the Vicky Guerrero, like, and then on BTE, she's with her and I got Ryzen. They're doing the whole church gimmick thing. So
yeah, I don't really follow that.
I'm just saying,
I kind of gloss over those parts.
You don't see Britt Baker doing characters on BTE. Well, not yet, at least, but yeah,
Maybe we'll find out next week. Adam Cole is.
Yeah, Conti eliminated by. Well, it was put on this morning. I still haven't watched it yet. Conti eliminated by Nyla Rose. So we have our final three: Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, and Ruby Soho. And then we have our final two because Nyla Rose is eliminated by Thunder Rosa.
Like straight up, they did not prolong that. Like the prolonged spot was the final two. Then
we have Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa, and oh my God, they begin chopping the shit out of each other. Just like the amount of chops that Thunder was. Did you see Ruby's chest? Like right up here, it was Walter levels of just got beat down by him.
Are you sure that isn't her tattoos?
No. I was absolutely sure because you could see her red chest like underneath the tattoos.
Again.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah. They battle on the apron. Riot kicked to Thunder. Thunder then eliminated by Ruby Soho. And she, the Joker, is the winner of the Casino Battle Royal. So we'll see here.
Is this the first time that the Joker won a Battle Royale?
Who was the Joker? I mean, I would have to look into that, but I think so.
Ed Seidel was a Joker. Actually, let's actually look this up.
Well,
keep going. I'll look it up.
Yeah, no. Well, the one thing I would say about it's good to see her in AEW fighting. Not just doing these sports entertainment matches. She's going back to what she knows, and that's wrestling. But after the match, JR does mess up and call her Ruby Riot, which I believe he had a couple of mess ups all night. But nonetheless, it was a great match, and I really enjoyed it. So
Hangman Adam Page was the Joker, and he won it.
Oh, was he
in the first event? Double or Nothing. Yeah.
Then we go to the next match, not the final match of the evening, but the final fight.
Yeah. This battle royale, going into it, this had bathroom match written all over it. That and the QT Marshal, and then following the greatest tag team match in AEW short history. This battle royale had every reason to fail, and they didn't. And it held up. They they stepped up to the plate, and like kudos to this women for showcasing the roster. Maybe should have kept Riho and Hikaru Shida in for a little bit longer because they were kind of your tent poles for the division.
I think Shida for sure. Riho, me, I don't know.
Hey, listen,
first champion.
Shida and Riho. Remember Riho beat Shida in that match?
Yeah. Well, she was the first champion, so I mean, yeah.
Like that. If that is my one nitpick on this, right person won because I predicted it, and she was over. And the Rancid theme song, like this is a great veteran addition that we've been talking about that the women's division needed. You know, like Heidi Lovelace, Ruby Riott, Ruby Soho. This is a one more person that, and I hope, and you got to keep them coming. You got to keep them coming, and veterans, not new ones, because you got newbies. Have them we need a Mercedes Martinez. What I'm saying.
Once we heard that song,
another tattooed woman.
Once we heard that song, we knew her destination was pretty clear.
Huh? Okay, Lars.
There you go. Well, Lars, Lars is a big wrestling fan.
I saw Lars at Clash at the Cow Palace.
Gotcha. Yeah, huge.
That dude. I saw him on my way to a grocery store. I saw him literally. I was crossing the street and he was the driver.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
And Lars and you know what Lars would look like.
Yeah. No, I know. He's like, "Oh, what's up, dude? Hey, how you doing?" He sounds like Enzo. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Let's move on. Final fight: MJF versus Chris Jericho. Okay, so I mean, this is a good match. Very, very, very good match. The one thing I would say is that caught me off guard did you think MJF came off kind of nervous or just wasn't all there? Because
I did not think that at all.
Really,
I think MJF is an absolute general in the ring, especially in big matches.
It seemed like at the beginning of the match, he seemed a little like, I don't know. He seemed like nervous, especially it seems like he was trying to buy himself more time when he ran out of the ring and like.
He is wrestling Jericho.
But he did that spot with the jacket, which was very like, oh, okay. I don't know. It was random to me, and
I thought it was fine. I thought MJF was actually excellent in this match.
Well, no. Okay, we'll get there. So MJF comes out. He comes out. The countdown begins. So we get the countdown to the Millennium Clock popping on the screen, and it counts down from 15 to 1. But it's not Y2J. It says Jericho's last match on it.
Amazing.
One thing I want to say this though is I was walking down the street the other day and I heard.
You saw Lars Fredrickson.
No,
almost ran you over.
I heard these. He's not Tom Phillips. I saw these. Like they were all like 18.
They're gonna sue us.
17-year-old, 18-year-old kids, and they were all walking down the street. And I heard them go, "Yeah, it was called Y2K," and people kind of freaked out about it. And I was just like,
"You're old, Korey. You're old."
Anyways,
was that it?
That was my story. Yes, it had nothing to do with wrestling. I just wanted to talk about it, and it had something to do with Y2J, Y2K. Anyways, MJF looking a lot leaner in this match too. Jericho comes out with the Fozzy guitarist Billy Gray playing him in. The fans are eating it up and they're singing along for a moment.
They tried, and also the guitar tried. A purveyor of live music, and you should know a thing or two about this.
Oh, I do.
That guitar was peaking.
Yeah.
Was peaking, and I would have covered my ears if I was in that Now Arena. I'm surprised. I think everybody was kind of covering their ears. And I feel like that's why people were, I don't know if there's a lag. There's a lag between the guitarist actually riffing and the audience singing, and he was trying to catch up. Very hard stuff. It's very complicated. I am not envious of that task. But in concept, this was excellent.
Yeah. He comes out to the ring. They both come out to the ring. MJF, like I said, he does that spot where he wipes his ass with Jericho's jacket. Seems like he was buying time for some reason.
He was being a heel, like stalling.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. It just
Charlotte Flair did it tonight on Monday Night Raw.
We get some flippy shit action, a la Will Ospreay and Ricochet when they do their little back and forth. They both
something you wouldn't expect in a Jericho match in 2021.
Jericho, then they battle out into the fans, and Jericho grabs one of those it's like one of those guardrails that has the rope that pulls out from it. But those things, if you've ever seen them, they weigh like good 70, 80 pounds. and
Not
Jericho
fun. Not
just
fun.
fucking dropped it on the back of MJF's back. We get an air raid backbreaker to MJF. MJF, though, will not stop targeting the left hand of Jericho in this match. He hits it, then he gets on the top ropes and gives Jericho a double stomp to his hand. Heat seeker to Jericho on the ring apron. Jericho out of the ring and gets in the ring by the 9 count. And then MJF goes for an acai moonsault. It's one of the first times we've seen MJF.
Wait, before that, was there explanation of why Jericho like took that long to go? I thought was actually one of the smartest explanations I've heard about the 9 count, and that is they want to squeeze every second. They want to squeeze every second of it. So like when the 9 count actually comes, they'll go forward immediately, and like that's just the type of shit that I just never even thought of with wrestling. Mostly just because
It's just like,
I don't really think that way either. I just never really thought of it that way, and I just thought that was a really nice touch because this exact same spot happened during the Darby and
well, no, it was
Punk match.
Was it Darby and Punk or was it Kenny Omega match?
It was the Darby and Punk match. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So MJF goes for an acai moonsault. One of the first times we've seen him do a was it a high risk maneuver. But Jericho dodges. MJF charges Jericho and on the outside, and Jericho catches MJF when he goes for a Hurricane Rana and transitions into a power bomb onto the ring apron. All great stuff. Jericho goes up to the top. MJF catches him, hits him with a code breaker as Jericho comes off the ropes. Jericho hits a lion salt, and that's when Wardlow comes out to the ring, and your favorite wrestler, Jake Hager, follows and beats him up and takes him out back. And that's when we get the heel.
Your wrestler's favorite wrestler, Jake Hager.
And that's when we get the heel turn of the night. MJF, I just fucking love this part. So MJF has Floyd in hand. Aubrey's back is turned. He knocks Jericho down with Floyd, and JR just screams, "Oh my God, did Floyd just turn his back on Jericho?"
Like it was like if Floyd was an actual person or something.
It was great. I loved it. MJF hits the Judas effect on Jericho. MJF goes for the pin. He gets to the 2. They get to the 2 count. Jericho gets his foot on the ropes, but Aubrey Edwards, who
She didn't see it.
Dude, she is right there. And I know it's a storyline, but she is right there. She needs to work a little bit harder. It was the refs all night. They seemed a little bit.
I thought she was. I mean, I'm gonna have to watch it because I haven't gone back and watching it 24 hours later, but I thought she was at a good angle. I thought it was believable. I I didn't have to like. I'm not trying. I got like what they were trying to go for.
It was like this to me. It was like I could see that. I could see it. So, anyways,
whatever. The point is,
so she counts the 3 count and calls for the bell and pin win. That's when another ref comes out to the ring, and MJF is just floored, like he just actually beat Jericho. Another ref comes out to the ring and to inform Aubrey of her wrong decision.
Paul Turner.
Aubrey then restarts the match, and MJF gets in the face of Aubrey. Aubrey pushes him, and Jericho goes for a roll up. And I
thought,
I thought it was gonna be finished right there, and I would have fucking popped big for that. But no,
that would have been so funny if MJF just won anyway.
Oh God. I mean, yeah,
that would have been amazing. Honestly, I would have done that. But if you want to keep Jericho,
yeah. Salted the earth applied, and Jericho fights out and applies the walls. Jericho tries to transition into the Lion Tamer, but doesn't quite get it, so he transitions back to the walls.
If he can't get it, he can't get it. You just do what you got to do.
No, yeah, he tried. That's what I'm saying. MJF fights towards the ropes. Jericho pulls him back, and MJF cannot withstand the pain anymore and taps out. And Jericho wins by submission. So
feel good victory. Like I said, I thought MJF was excellent in this match. Jericho played a really nice nice foil to MJF.
Yeah.
I just again, when MJF is in the big match, he shows the fuck up. I think he's because of how good he is on the mic. People sleep on his in-ring abilities, but like he is just as good. He is, if not arguably better. No, and this is the guy. And Tony Khan said in the scrum that MJF is a locker room leader, and for a guy his age, being a locker room leader with that roster, he's probably a locker room leader to the kids. He's definitely not going to be leading He's not going to be like bossing around He's not going to make Bryan Danielson pick up his bags.
Well,
Probably not.
What do you mean by locker room leader? Because to me, when I hear that in AEW, I just hear somebody that's trying to motivate everybody. And let's say let's have a fucking great show. Let's go out there and do everything we can to have the best show possible.
We'll lead by example, mostly.
Not so much as like Undertaker and like, this is my cord. I'm gonna do what I want here because
I mean, they didn't exactly elaborate on it, but I'm just assuming.
I want to know if we have MJF
by example.
Now. I want MJF court now backstage. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, we move. Oh yeah, Inner Circle come out and they all hug their leader, Chris Jericho.
And I legitimately thought like this is a pretty face heavy so far, pretty face heavy
show.
And it will continue to be, but until the main event at least.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. Darby Allin versus CM Punk. CM Punk is back and meh.
Remember that. Oh, just remember that. This show, as ginormous as it is, CM Punk also wrestled his first match in the first of 7 years. And it was a great match too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about a great match.
It was exactly what it needed to be. It answered, and it there was, for a guy who hasn't wrestled in 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
This was pretty good. This was, in fact, I thought it was actually really good of how it was laid out. But just go through the match.
Oh well, he worked hard, and I didn't like this. What
happened?
Well, I'm going. Don't worry, God, I'm talking here.
We're having a wrestling match, and
the only
I'm
place
asking for an arm drag.
Run
the ropes.
The only place that they could have done this, and the crowd not gotten a little silent, I think, was Chicago. Because they were being really nice and being really into this match.
Oh, the dude can take a literal shit in the ring, and Chicago would fucking love it. And believe me, he's tried.
Allin comes out with his usual film school project. Apparently, he jumps out of a helicopter, probably into a foam pit. The fans, there
was a body bag attached to the freaking winch of that helicopter.
What was that guy's name? Kansas or Wichita?
Kentucky.
There we.
I hope.
It was probably
less said about Kentucky, the better. The less said about Darby using Kentucky, the better.
So
Kentucky, I hope you're being paid well.
The fans begin singing along to Cult of Personality, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I love when they sing along to Judas because it's almost this Pavlovian response, but everyone seems lost with this song, and
they'll figure it out.
They pick up like every other word. They're like, "Leader, free." That's just what I got from it. CM Punk is in tights, and I don't know how I feel about that either.
He needs a center design. He needs a design that's on the waist. He also needs to wear his kick. I need to look at it. I need to look at it again.
I
think he has kick pads on the outside. He needs knee pads on the outside. Yeah. I think that would actually kind of complete the look because it kind of just looked a little bumpy.
Did he have elbow pads?
You know what I mean?
I think elbow pads would help too.
I don't think he doesn't have elbow pads. No, he never. I don't think he has elbow.
I don't know.
It's definitely an adjustment. It is definitely an adjustment,
man.
I think he would have been fine with the tights. I think like his upper body, like aesthetically speaking, his upper body, like his MMA. I mean, remember, this is a guy who fucking trained for an MMA fight for the past 4 years. Like, you would, and for him to look like that, like, yeah, I'm not surprised that he's in great. He's in great as a shape as he is.
Yeah,
he's also 43 years old.
Yeah. So they go back and forth. Darby almost caught in a GTS early, but evades. This match starts pretty slow. Eventually,
it needed to be.
You think so?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, go ahead.
Then eventually, Darby hits a overhead stunner to Punk. Darby takes over, hits a coffin drop, or coffin splash. Sorry, and with 2 and gets multiple 2 counts, but can't get the pin on Punk. Darby then is crotched on the top turnbuckle. Darby reverses an atomic drop. Eventually get a GTS to Darby, but he falls outside of the ring. They do that 10 count spot again where he makes it in by the 9 count. Punk signals for another GTS. Darby fights out of the GTS, flipping senton to Punk to the outside off the top turnbuckle. Darby signals for his version of the go to sleep, and tries to hit a coffin drop off the top rope. Not his version of the go to sleep, but he does the whole, go to sleep.
He does the taunt. He copies the taunt.
Yes, he did the copy taunt move. Goes for the coffin drop, but Punk just gingerly sits up.
He Undertakers it.
And Angel laughs. And I just thought that was great. Darby reverses another GTS, but finally Darby went for a poison Rana, and Punk caught Allin and hit him with a GTS to pin and win. And
I thought this was a fantastic showing for Punk. Like, he did a really one of my favorite spots in that match was that leg lariat that he did, because like years ago you would think like that would just be a routine move for him, but you could feel the oomph, the meatiness of it. Like it had a bigger emphasis on it. Like it had a bigger emphasis on it because he's older. He's arguably heavier than before, and that move now matters a lot instead of just it being a part of his routine. So it brings a little bit of gravity. Every single one of his movements has a little bit more gravity than it was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like he struggled he never did the pit. He did the running knee onto the corner. He kind of struggled grabbing Darby for the clothesline. He never did the bulldog, which was actually kind of interesting. He didn't do the Pepsi plunge. I'm just going through his greatest hits right now. Like and I just thought this was a classic story of the veteran versus the veteran who knows how wrestling match can be won versus the guy who's doing everything possible to win a match. I thought this was I thought that dynamic was exactly what it needed to be with a young guy like Darby Allin and a veteran like CM Punk.
I just felt like there were times though where Darby just looked like kind of dumb
because he's young. He's a millennial, Corey. He's a zoomer.
If he's gonna be young and
he's
dumb,
my age, so
if he's young and dumb, then let's turn him.
What do you mean? No, it's not. No, there is that storyline, and it was demonstrated on Friday where Darby Allin is reckless. Darby Allin, his age, he thinks he's invincible, and that's kind of the whole point of that's kind of the whole point of the whole Sting presence, is to make sure that he doesn't fall into those traps. But he fell into those traps, I guess. But I don't think you're suggesting Darby Allin to turn heel. That is absolutely not that wouldn't be my call. It wouldn't be my call. You're hot. He's your biggest draw, your biggest baby face for all the kids out there.
You're right.
No, do not turn Darby Allin.
I'll take that back. I'm sorry, Darby. Don't turn heel. Just pay the people you put in body bags and hang from helicopters. That's all. I mean, I'm sure you do. I just
looking better.
Underlining it. That's all. Next up, my match of the night. I was looking forward to this match.
Speaking of matches that are exactly what it should have been.
This match could have been shorter. 3-minute match. Paul Wight versus QT Marshal. So you heard that even Dave mentioned, Uncle Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, mentioning that this match was put in place as a filler match. More so that if another match...
Dave didn't need to tell me that.
You thought, you knew that? Well, I mean, it was confirmed by Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you look at this match on paper, you don't need to tell me that this is a filler match.
I thought it was going to be for Adam Cole's debut, but no. Paul Wight comes out.
Which is actually, I was behind that idea, but looking back on it now, what they did for Adam Cole was a little bit better, but we'll get there.
Well, yeah. Paul Wight versus QT Marshal. Wight
no more BS, Corey.
No, he's got like a full old lady.
That theme song is so fucking good too.
It's the same guy that sings the Big Show song.
It's the same guy. Where
I'm gonna sing a song about Paul Wight. So this Nick Camarado and Aaron Solo were cleared from the ring right when the bell rang. Wight beating down on QT Marshal. Gets Wight down for a second. Solo brought into the ring. Wight takes him out. Camarado taken out. QT comes off the top rope, caught by Wight, choke slam, pin, win, match over.
Exactly what it needed to be.
Yep.
You got Paul Wight wearing Dominic Mysterio's ring gear.
Well, yeah, I'll say this. They say they want to have every type of match on a show. AEW has been very vocal about that from the inception of the company. And having a WWE style match on the show is having every type of match on the show.
There's no Cody match.
That is usually the WWE style match. Did you see there's another Cody figure coming out?
There's not enough Cody figures.
How many fucking Cody figures? I think there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's 5 now.
This one comes with Liberty.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of down with getting that LJN style one though. Anyways,
are you gonna watch Roads to the Top? I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
I'll check it out.
Me too. I mean, I did like it's any opportunity to see more Ricky Starks on the screen. Baby, you know I'm there.
Yeah,
it's not Ricky Starks does not.
He
does not
used
dab.
to dab. He used to dab.
Okay,
check it out. It was on there.
He does this now.
Well, yeah, he evolved this into. Well, maybe I'm thinking of TJP. He definitely dabbed.
Ugh, less said about him, the better.
But more said about this. The main event, AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, the better. Christian Cage, the Impact Wrestling World Champion.
Not title for title.
Not title for title versus Kenny Omega. Just for the one title. I do love how Kenny Omega comes out. He is just dripping hair dye down his chest. It's either hair dye or spray on tan, because it is just, there's some dark substance dripping down his chest.
Yeah, that's his heel. That's his heel turn. That's his heel-ness.
And I love how it cuts to Christian, and Christian just has like this clean cut haircut, and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna get all that shit all over me, aren't
I might as well be wrestling Darby Allin at this point.
Kenny Omega, 277 days as AEW champion with 5 successful title defensives. The same amount
Counting.
The same amount of time that Moxley held the title. So now, I guess winning this match, he surpassed Moxley with title reigns, or the title.
Will he win, Korey?
Oh, yeah.
Keep going.
The match kicks off fucking fast. Okay, I'll say this. Best Christian match I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm going to have to dig real deep on that one.
But
I think I remember
Christian
watching.
His ass off.
I mean, he needs to. If you live by the mantra of outworking everyone, I would expect no less.
So the match kicks off. Christian dodges a knee strike right off the bat. Christian hits a splash to Kenny from the turnbuckle. Christian tossing the stairs on the outside. Omega then eventually lays Christian out on the floor on the outside, places the table on top of him, and not him on the table, then goes for a double stomp on the table, breaking the table onto Christian's chest, which didn't look fun at all.
Ow.
Another table is set up on the outside, but isn't used at this point. Kenny then knocks Christian down, goes for a moonsault off a barricade. This is a kind of funny spot where he slips on the barricade, and this fan just goes, and just Kenny looks right at him. They stare down each other for a second, and he's just like, hold on, I'm going to hit it real quick. Hold on. And then hits another, like a twisting moonsault off the barricade.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought that spot worked for the sake that Kenny Omega has kind of built a brand of him just being an extra loud dork.
Yeah. Well,
who just happens to be your champion.
Yeah, because if he didn't hit the moonsault after, the fact that he hit the moonsault afterwards, it was incredible and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kenny fights out of a cloverleaf attempt in the ring. We have a reverse DDT laying Kenny on the mat. V trigger to the back of Christian's head. Then 2 Snapdragon suplexes to Christian. And I didn't think Christian would be taking this much of punishment to the head and neck.
Honestly, I mean, this just go on. I'll say it at the end.
Kenny then does his gun point at Christian. Christian flips him off. That's when Kenny Omega just gets pissed and gives him another Snapdragon V trigger to Christian. Kenny then attempts to give Christian a German suplex on the aforementioned table on the outside. Try to tease another Snapdragon onto it, but they don't go through it immediately. That's when, they both tease their finishers going off of the apron into the table, but they don't get it. And Christian giving Kenny Omega a spear through the ropes. I wonder where he learned that move, through the table. So, I mean, it was a cool spear through the ropes to the outside. Kenny eventually Christian goes for a frog splash. Kenny gets his knees up. Ripcord V trigger to Christian. High angle cloverleaf.
He just does the kitchen sink. He goes through everything. He's just spamming all his specials out, this guy.
Callis then calls out the Good Brothers. They're taken out. We get the kill switch.
Boo.
He kicks out. Callis is in the ring for the distraction. Both men are on the turnbuckle. Christian's looking for the super kill switch off the top rope. That's when Christian is put on the shoulders of Kenny Omega, one-winged angel, after getting his eyes raked, mind you. Pin win, 277.
One-winged angel off the second rope on this 47-year-old man, by the way.
Yeah, and people were saying that he landed on his head and neck. He landed.
I'm sure he's okay. We would have probably heard something about it by now.
I mean, when I saw the match, I think with more recent eyes.
I mean, he seemed all right in the post-match.
Yeah. So, like I said, 207 days and counting. Now
Kenny Omega retains.
Six defenses now.
Yeah. This match, maybe my expectations were probably a little bit too high.
Mine were really low. So
I was super looking forward to this one, especially after their Rampage match, but then I've come to realize the reason why I really loved that Rampage match was A, it was shorter, and B, Christian won after all those spots. And for this match, they kind of ran it back to what they had, albeit with a little bit, I wouldn't even say a little bit more time, because none of the matches on the show were more than 25 minutes long, by the way, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, me liking the Rampage match more was by virtue of it being shorter and by virtue of Christian winning. So
under for them to, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for Christian losing this match after what was ostensibly most of the spots that they did for that Rampage match, I thought was a little too one-sided for my taste. Yes, you got that spear through the middle rope and Kenny got onto the table. I wish there was a lot more hope spots for Christian. I would have easily gotten. I would have wanted at least 5 more minutes, because this is your title match main event.
Yeah.
Out of all the matches that could go more than 25, I was hoping. Christian just did not work enough. He did not work enough. You wanted to outwork everyone. You didn't. You lost.
First, Christian,
buddy.
You need to outwork yourself, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Played himself. Congratulations.
You want to make the world a better place. Take a look in the mirror.
Nah, but then that's just me trying to find criticisms for the sake of criticisms. I still think this was a great match.
Yeah.
Christian Cage, fucking WWE, they just took fucking 5 years off this guy's career, and for him to look like this,
it
makes you really question who is actually clear and not clear,
Yeah.
With Edge, with Bryan, with Paige.
Yeah, maybe they're just, taking extra precautions over there. They got more to lose, I guess, if somebody really gets hurt under their dime. You know what I mean? So after the match.
Yeah, but then you also, everyone else. Think about the injury history with everyone else. Sheamus, spinal stenosis. Still wrestle. He wrestled today. In fact, in a pretty good match with Drew McIntyre.
That's true. So then the Elite come down, beating down on Christian. Fans are chanting yes.
Everyone's expecting it. Everyone's expecting.
Kenny Omega has a mic. He says, "I don't care who your hometown heroes are. No one is on my level when it comes to AEW. The AEW belt. The only people that could beat me are dead. Have already retired, or what you say, have already retired, aren't here, or are dead."
Yeah, the main takeaway, the final line was saying you're dead. You got to make sure that was the last takeaway.
Because, Adam Cole died in BTE. Then the lights go out, and boom, Adam Cole, baby, makes his debut in AEW. He comes out to the ring with a fucking great theme song. He comes.
We'll get there.
He stares down Kenny Omega for a second, and then you see Jungle Boy getting up to his feet, and then
boom,
super kick. He receives a super kick, and Adam Cole hugs his Elite brethren. That's when he gets the mic. He says, "Who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby? It's official. The Elite is the most dominant faction in history, and there ain't no chance in hell anyone."
He came from the heel tunnel. I don't know what people are expecting.
That's what I said, because I knew about what was going to happen before I saw it happen.
I didn't think too much of it because of the whole fact that motherfucker, it's Adam Cole.
Maybe. Yeah. So then Kenny has a second. He starts doing his goodbye and good night, and all of a sudden Flight of the Valkyries, not
This was a more old-timey introduction of it. It was like being played by one of those old record players.
well, that's the original.
That's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. Yeah,
original
he's
song
old-fashioned a
was-
little bit. Then
And
they rev it up in the new shit. They add trap beats.
Well, they didn't.
this-
Add Chappie. It was a completely different song. Like
No,
from
no,
Flight-
they remixed Ride of the Valkyries. I mean, they kind of they chopped and screwed Ride of the Valkyries, added
putting that
fucking drum and bass, and they added the "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in" chant, which I don't think
I didn't hear that.
Listen, that song's out now. That song's on Spotify now.
Okay.
I will send you the link.
I'll listen to
So
it. We'll
they
put the link up
incorporate
top.
in the greatest realization in wrestling history, in my opinion, was incorporating "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in" to "Ride of the Valkyries." It's something that nobody has ever realized. Flight of the Valkyries.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Richard Wagner, wherever you are, probably dead. Oh, most likely dead.
Probably. He wrote it, what? World
Like
War
the
II?
1800s, maybe. I don't know. But yeah,
Brian
they somehow. So yeah, Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan, for good God Almighty,
He
is
comes out
now
the ring.
in All Elite.
He stands tall. Just think
Looking
of it.
exactly like Brock Lesnar.
On one side,
His
we have
haircut.
the Elite. We have Kenny Omega, the Bucks, Adam Cole. On the other side, you have Jurassic Express. You have Christian Cage, and now you have Bryan Danielson. This amalgam. This is like the amalgam universe.
And then William Regal came out. Really,
War Games. I mean, that. It has to lead to something like that, right? It's gonna lead to that match.
I don't think you should waste. Okay, keep going. What else happened?
Well, I mean, they all brawl. Bryan, we see him go after Nick Jackson. He gives him a German and then a running knee.
This is why I wanted you to say that out loud, Korey, because I think they should make Bryan Danielson's first match on television and have him face Nick Jackson.
Oh yeah, I mean
that should be your first match on probably next week's Dynamite, because because Dynamite this week is pretty stacked as it is right now.
Yeah.
And Rampage is also kind of stacked because you got the Andrade Pac match next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday, Nick Jackson, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
fucking do that shit. It would be perfect. And also, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait on the Danielson match, to be honest, because like with CM Punk, I kind of understand because there's a lot more what ifs and mystique to the pay-per-view. Yeah. Motherfucker, Bryan Danielson main evented WrestleMania this year.
Yeah,
we know what he can do. You know, his last match was against Roman Reigns on a SmackDown. What, July? Like, yeah. Let's not wait on this. Let's not be gun shy. Bryan Danielson wants to fucking wrestle. Let him fucking wrestle. So,
he's going to wrestle. I mean,
he's going to wrestle. I would hope he's wrestling. No,
but this has to lead to, like I said,
it has to lead to that. But I don't want that to be his first match.
No, I don't think that's going to be his first. We're not going to wait that long.
Nick Jackson, Tony Khan. I'm making sure.
Tony, brother.
Tony, I know you're listening.
Tony.
It's only natural, right? Like he did not. He immediately went to Nick Jackson, kicked him in the chest.
About it. Well, we need to talk to Tony about it, not Dustin.
Yeah, he kicked him, did the knee. The best theme song in all of AEW started playing.
So, do you think Cole? I think Adam Cole got the bigger pop though because it was unexpected. You think? I thought so. Like Daniel Bryan coming out, everyone knew.
I've watched the last 6 minutes of this pay-per-view on loop for the past day, and now I'm just thinking. I think Bryan Danielson got the bigger pop.
Okay. I mean, because to me it was very.
But not to discount Adam Cole's pop. You know, like that was also gigantic. If it was just Adam, but I will say if it was just Adam Cole, I would have been kind of let down. Just because of my personal preference.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially everyone was talking about.
But then the double swerve. And that was it. That ended our show. One main takeaway from that segment: they were not chanting Bryan Danielson. They were chanting AEW. This now centers Chicago. What the fact that they were given this show and they came away. You had Bryan Danielson coming back, and they chanted AEW. That is the ultimate. That is the ultimate I love you that you can give to that company, bar none. And completely justified. I thought this was an all-time classic of a wrestling pay-per-view. And and I thought this immediately. And it is 24 hours after my personal number one favorite.
Definitely
Like,
the best.
Yeah. There is this one number one. There's instantly their number one. All AEW is instantly number one pay-per-view.
And my question now is, and we can sit here and just like fantasy book all day until the cows come.
Where do they go with this?
Well,
fucking Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson and Ruby. So like, look what you got.
Yeah, no, I know, but
look what the fuck you got.
Now that they're all working in a company that you can go to different companies. Will we see Daniel Bryan or CM Punk maybe step back into Ring of Honor eventually? Maybe we'll see Adam Cole in Impact. I think that's the best thing to do.
I mean, we can go directly into the scrum post show, and for Bryan Danielson to, say what he said during that scrum, which was
pushing
him wanting to wrestle at New Japan, but he also says that, but it doesn't make sense right now because of what's happening. Him and Punk were very reserved, and Punk a lot more reserved, saying he's an AEW guy. In which Tony Khan was like, "Yeah, tell him, Punk." Sorry, Tony.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, Tony.
Tony Khan in that media, isn't he?
With all love,
Isn't he the biggest fucking darling out of this whole entire thing? At the end of the day, those media scrums. Every time he's right next to his newest signee. Like, you're great. Thank you.
It's funny though.
We're gonna make a lot of money.
He's essentially like, he got bored playing the GM mode in WWE 2K, and he was like, you know what?
He was a DVD that you can see old posts of his account on DVDR forums.
Oh, I don't think he wasn't like a huge wrestling fan.
He's a gigantic wrestling. What? No, that's what I'm saying. He was a DVDR poster.
I know. I'm just saying he is essentially just. I mean, yeah.
But.
Bryan Danielson. In the scrum. Do you want me to read some of these quotes? You
pulled them up?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Talking about Vince McMahon, he goes, I hate to say this, but Vince and I have a great relationship, and I love him. I do sometimes.
Does he really say he hates to say this? Is he saying that in the context of he knows people will hate me for saying this? This is not exactly the most because Vince McMahon is not a very popular person.
Sorry, I got thrown off for a second. So no, I mean, he was just talking about his, coming into AEW from WWE and his relationship with WWE going forward. He was talking about what you were saying earlier about how WWE was overprotective of him, and he wanted to push his limits. So Daniels had said that during the All Out scrum, he goes, that's one of the things I love about this is the physicality of what we do, being able to push my limits. It's all about pushing his limits. So
a guy with history of concussions wanting to push his limits. Got it.
There you go.
I'm all for it, man. No, I don't. No, I'm not. Stay safe.
Adam Cole saying the decision was
work
fair.
Smarter, not harder, Brian. Go on. Sorry.
No, I was just saying Adam Cole saying this was a fairly easy decision.
Yeah, this is the difference between Brian and Cole.
Yeah.
In regards to the signings.
And CM Punk said something too about this being he wants to compare this to, like, he said,
where's this from?
Figure 4.
Okay.
So CM Punk compares new AEW signings to 1990s WCW additions. So apparently he says, I'm not Hogan, I'm not Savage. Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole, they're not the outsiders. I see parallels. This is totally different, and I'll go ahead and say it. People can quote me. They'll be pissed about it. To me, this is a bigger than that.
I believe so. I think so. I mean, you can argue against, like, you can argue business metrics from 1996 and compare it to fucking 2021, but ain't nobody got time for that shit. In my opinion, I do think this is actually way better, way bigger.
Because I'm not personally in the business of war or competing. I know who competition is and who competition isn't. So, I mean, hey.
Also, it's a one-way street so far, and I think it's going to continue to be a one-way street. You know what I mean?
We'll see people go over. It's going to be younger people. It's going to be people who don't get. You're going to see people like Max Caster. I could definitely see him in WWE. I can definitely him and. Wouldn't
be the worst decision. I mean, you look at him. He looks like $1 million.
Yeah, and he
can talk.
He could be on that new NXT.
He can say unquestionably problematic things
He will
without
be
any consequence.
Scripted to all hell. And I don't like when he says, yeah. Anyway.
He's back with the company though, so Wardlow, you could always put Wardlow. Okay, with a roster this stacked, it's going to eventually like the plate spinning routine. A plate is going to fall. Someone is going to be unhappy eventually. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be it's only going to be a matter of time who that would be. Right now, I don't think it's going to be anybody.
Well, no.
But only time will tell.
Contracts are up soon. Jericho, Kenny, the Bucks, Cody. They're not leaving.
So what do you think of the fact that we kept on saying how good this show is, and the fact that there was no Cody match? Do you think that's an indictment on Cody?
I will be straight up. I used to say Cody Rhodes was my favorite wrestler. You can go back in the history.
Used to.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
He's gotten down the list for you lately.
It's just he seems like he's just stroking his own ego, and that's years.
You could also say that he's a new dad. Also,
this is even before he was a new dad. Like him and Brody Lee had that back and forth for the title. He just left to go do the show. Then he came back and won the title back, and then lost.
You could argue him doing Go Big Show was a way to strengthen the brand. Like ultimately, he didn't. I mean, you can see his intentions of doing so.
Like he wants
being in the good graces of Warner Media has paid. You could argue has paid tenfold considering how compensated they were with these new deals. And for them to say, hey, you're a part of this property that you are a part of this property that's under our umbrella. Let's utilize you and strengthen this brand. And I could see Cody definitely being in the forefront of doing that. I wouldn't say it would be a way to stroke his own ego. I think it would be for the betterment of the AEW brand.
I will say, and I'll also say this.
But the whole point, Cody Rhodes not on the pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is considered one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So, what does that mean? What do you say about that? Does it lessen Cody's leverage?
No, Cody isn't a good face. I just don't like him as a face. That's what it is.
He's gonna have to go through this Malachi Black program, and it is reported that he's expected to come back within this month.
Great, we'll get 10-minute intros but anyway, so
he's gonna get his win back.
What I was gonna say is that, or he won't because it's not WWE. You know what I mean? We might just, and then
And what do you do with Cody if he loses to Malachi Black? Go Big Show season 2.
Yeah, sure. Cody is like Ric Flair, and I don't mean that in a positive way. I mean that in the sense of, remember when Ric Flair was a face? Like, remember how bland Ric Flair was at times?
Kind of before my time.
Okay, but you've watched Ric Flair as a face somewhere.
I've only seen Ric Flair as a face in the context of the fact that he's really old.
And he was always old. The guy had gray hair since.
Yes, he's been old for. He was on BTE this week, by the way.
Oh, was he? That's great. Well, he's with Andrade.
No, so I mean, I won't. Okay, yeah.
Mike, what happened on BTE this week?
Well, they were gonna resurrect Adam. Okay, no, we could. I mean, we could just talk about BTE this week.
Did you? I didn't watch it.
I picked and chose. I picked and choose certain segments.
I'm gonna watch it after I turn this off. But
okay. They resurrected Adam Cole.
Yes.
Yeah. But Ric Flair, he was there. It wasn't exactly scripted. It was just that. It was just Kenny and the Bucks and a quote unquote fifth person in their crew.
Okay.
So I could, you know who it is.
Was it Adam Cole?
It was Adam Cole. Or it's heavily implied it was Adam Cole. But then they received a check for their dinner, and then it just said paid by Ric Flair in gigantic handwriting. What? I don't know whether or not it was a rib or something.
They were teasing him. They were teasing him coming in for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and they just as soon as they got the check, they just kept on wooing the restaurant for Rick to notice them. It's like, I heard you. And they just did a bunch of Rick impersonations. Go and watch that. It's actually kind of a fun.
Ric Flair just like,
yeah, I know exactly. He's just like, I heard you guys. Anyway,
woo! Anyways,
that was BTE this week. No,
but you're
it's pretty
right.
loud.
Yeah, and
Cody Rhodes. No, Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole, Ruby Soho are in the fold. Massive acquisitions for All Out.
Bryan Danielson,
all-time pay-per-view.
He is active back on Instagram again. Jesus.
Read the comments. I want to give me the first 5 comments you see.
Wow, Nikki Bella, hands up emoji.
Okay,
Great.
no, from unverified accounts.
Okay, unverified. Let me just pull a couple up. Amazing. Now AEW over WWE. Why, Daniel? Why? Oh wow, we have someone's not
exactly. This is why I'm asking you to read these comments.
Sad face. Oh, here's a good one from an Aaron Royce. I don't know why I'm giving a shout out. I haven't read the comment yet. I have been watching WWE since the.
Don't do that.
I was a kid in the '80s, and the last year with all the people they let go and talent that they let walk. How awful Raw has been or was. No, he says was. I am now all elite as well. Whoa, you heard it first. Aaron Royce is all elite as well.
Wow, you just blew your microphone on my end at that point by doing that.
Big
no, it's cool.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a mixed reaction. A lot of people.
Tribalism is a hell of a thing.
We want you in WWE. Yay. Someone said,
I bought your house. You quieter.
Now I will start watching AEW every week. Wow.
Good call.
Wow. Pierre Anton 23. Good call.
Anyway, I saw the majority of.
Someone said, when will the AEW phase end?
The trend.
Buddy Wrestling at Buddy Wrestling. Anyways.
Buddy Murphy said this.
Oh, they have all WWE posts on their page too. Anyway.
Yeah, it's great. Speaking of WWE, I saw like most of Raw. I saw that Nia Jax Charlotte match.
I'm watching a clip right now.
It was something. I was actually kind of disappointed they didn't shoot on each other, but I probably shouldn't have expected that because they were kind of cashing on that. That they dedicated an entire hour to tag team matches. Yeah, there was a tag team turmoil match.
Well, yeah, didn't the Rebellion or whatever they're called?
They're called. Oh, I forgot their names. I don't care. Yeah. Fucking no. There was one funny part was that they're in the Karrion Kross segment where he was wrestling Johnny Nitro. They call him Johnny Nitro, right? John Morrison. For John Morrison, Impact Wrestling tweeted the match between Johnny Impact and Killer Kross.
Oh, that's great.
You know, I mean, they do that all the time. Whenever like Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre did their thing,
you see
Impact Wrestling would.
Jake Atlas is making the rounds.
Yeah, is Chris Bay also part of that? Oh no, John Gresham is also.
Yeah, well, I think they're both Gresham and Chris.
They're doing the New Japan thing.
Philadelphia. Well, he was also at Effie's. He wrestled at Effie's Big Gay Brunch last weekend.
Did Atlas have no compete clause? I mean, it was 30 days probably. That's why.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was a 30-day one.
He should go to AEW. Or he should just do whatever the fuck he wants.
He will, dude. He will show up in
AEW. He has an dude. Like remember, like they always wanted him. They always wanted him, right? It was him and Jungle Boy, but Jake Atlas.
Jungle Boy is his best friend in AEW and also another really good friend of his.
APW, you mean? Like Jungle Boy is his best friend from APW.
Right. I was saying in AEW. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wrestles there. But also another one of his best friends is Fred Rosser, who is now a New Japan Strong wrestler. So
he's like he's officially contracted in New Japan or something.
Who, Fred Rosser?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's officially contracted.
What are like the status of those what's the contract status of like most of the gaijins like it's not.
I don't think they're officially signed to New Japan. I think they're just using the talent as kind of like independent contractors.
They're good talent.
Yeah.
You know, Jake Atlas. Yeah.
Anyways, it's getting late. And
yeah, it's to a point where I feel like I shouldn't even use that date on the corner. Fuck it, I'm not going to do it. We recorded this at
date of recording, I guess. Anyways,
all-time pay-per-view.
All-timer says a lot.
All-timer,
including Michael here at City Wrestling Radio. Hey guys, but we're going to get out of here today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at City Wrestling Radio on Instagram and Facebook. Check us out on Twitter at CWR415. Don't ask why. We have a different name for our Twitter. Anyways, have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend.
Is that wrong? At the bottom?
No. Oh, well, technically for Twitter it is, but anyways, guys.
Okay.
We love you. We care about you, and we'll see you later. Bye.